I ran away from home because I'm terrified of my husband and also deadly terrified of my son. My husband Trevor has always been intense, but I thought it was just his personality. He's one of those guys who needs everything done his way or he completely loses it. When we first got married, I made excuses for him. He works hard, he's stressed, he just wants things to be perfect. But then our son Mason was born, and Trevor got worse. Way worse. Every little noise Mason made as a baby would set Trevor off. He'd slam doors, punch walls, scream about how he couldn't think with all the crying. I started doing everything to keep Mason quiet just to avoid the explosions. As Mason got older, I noticed things about him that made my skin crawl. He never cried when he got hurt. Never. One time he fell off his bike and scraped his knee so bad it was bleeding everywhere, and he just stared at it with this blank expression. No tears, no reaction, nothing. When Mason was 5, our neighbor's cat went missing. I found it 3 days later in our garage, and let's just say it didn't die naturally. When I confronted Mason about it, he looked me dead in the eye and said the cat was being too loud and needed to stop. The way he said it, so calm and matter of fact, made me physically sick. Trevor thought it was hilarious. He actually laughed and said boys will be boys, that Mason was just learning to solve problems. That's when I realized Trevor wasn't just angry. Something was seriously wrong with him too. Things escalated when Mason started school. His teacher called about him hurting other kids during recess, not fighting or pushing, hurting them on purpose, making them cry just to watch their faces. The principal said Mason showed no remorse and actually seemed to enjoy it. At home, Mason started asking weird questions, like how long it takes someone to die if they can't breathe, or what happens if you put certain chemicals in someone's food. He'd ask these things while we were eating dinner, completely casual, like he was asking about the weather. Trevor encouraged it. He'd answer Mason's questions in detail, teaching him things no 7-year-old should know. They'd have these long conversations about pain and fear that made me want to throw up. I felt like I was living with 2 psychopaths. The breaking point came last month. I woke up in the middle of the night because I felt like someone was watching me. Mason was standing at the foot of our bed holding one of Trevor's hunting knives, just staring at me. When I asked what he was doing, he said he was practicing being quiet so people wouldn't hear him coming. Trevor woke up, and instead of being horrified, he was proud. He told Mason good job and that next time he should try to get even closer without waking anyone up. They high-fived while I sat there shaking. That's when I knew I had to get out. Not just leave, run, because I finally understood that they weren't just violent or angry. They were both completely empty inside, and I was their favorite toy to break. I started planning my escape. I opened a secret bank account using my maiden name and slowly moved money there. I told my sister Claire what was happening, and she helped me find a shelter 3 states away that specializes in situations like mine. The hardest part was acting normal while planning to disappear, making breakfast, doing laundry, pretending everything was fine while Trevor and Mason had their sick little bonding sessions. Mason started leaving dead insects on my pillow as gifts, and Trevor thought it showed creativity. 2 weeks ago, I made my move. Trevor had a business trip, and Mason was at school. I packed one bag with essentials and left everything else behind. I drove 12 hours straight to the shelter Claire found, stopping only for gas and to throw my phone in a dumpster. The police don't understand why I won't press charges or give them my address. They keep saying I'm overreacting, that fathers and sons roughhousing is normal. But they didn't see Mason's eyes when he held that knife. They didn't hear Trevor teaching our 7-year-old how to hurt people effectively.